Welcome to CognitionChunks. I'm going to Yellowstone National Park soon. This is my first visit and I would like to get as much out of my trip as I can. Can I use GPT to prepare? This is the hike, Bunsen Peak at Yellowstone National Park. Overview. Bunsen Peak, named after the famous chemist Robert Bunsen, inventor of the Bunsen burner, is one of the more rewarding moderate hikes in Yellowstone National Park. Situated near the Mammoth Hot Springs area, this peak offers sweeping views of the surrounding landscapes, including the Gallatin Mountain Range and the stunning Yellowstone River Valley. Length and duration. The hike is approximately 4.6 miles round trip and usually takes between 3 to 4 hours to complete, including time spent at the summit enjoying the views. Trail difficulty. This is a moderate hike with an elevation gain of about 1,300 feet. The trail consists of switchbacks and a well-maintained path, but does require a reasonable level of fitness. Highlights. Panoramic views. Once at the summit, you are treated to a 360-degree view of some of Yellowstone's most dramatic scenery. Wildlife. Keep an eye out for elk, bighorn sheep, and even the occasional black bear. Wildflowers. During the late spring and early summer, the sides of the trail are dotted with colorful wildflowers. How to reach from the nearest hotel. Assuming you are staying at the Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel, which is the closest to the trailhead, here's how to get there. 1. Exit the hotel, leave Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel and head towards the Grand Loop Road. 2. Turn right. Make a right turn onto Grand Loop Road, heading south. 3. Drive for 5 miles. Continue south on Grand Loop Road for approximately 5 miles until you reach the Bunsen Peak Trailhead sign. 4. Parking area. Turn right into the parking area. This is a well-marked, medium-sized lot. 5. Trailhead. The trailhead begins at the far end of the parking lot. There should be a sign marking the start of the Bunsen Peak Trail. Tips. Always carry plenty of water, as there are no reliable water sources along the way. Given the elevation, weather can change quickly. It's wise to bring layers. The trail is exposed to the sun, so sunscreen and hats are recommended. Although the hike is not particularly long, it can be strenuous, so make sure you're prepared with appropriate footwear and a small first aid kit. Conclusion. Hiking up Bunsen Peak offers an engaging blend of physical challenge and sensory reward. It's an ideal choice for those looking to immerse themselves in the natural splendor of Yellowstone without committing to an overly strenuous or long trek. The panoramic views from the summit alone are worth the climb, presenting an unforgettable vista of what makes Yellowstone a jewel among national parks. Welcome back, indefatigable explorers of both the physical and mental realms. Today we've reached the summit, both literally and metaphorically, of our hike up Bunsen Peak in Yellowstone National Park. Scaling heights, whether metaphorical or literal, demonstrates the human quest for understanding and mastery. Yet, mastery is not mere control, but a synergistic interaction between human capability and nature's majesty. Let's take a moment to unpack the multiplicity of perspectives and academic vistas that this trek has provided us. Thermodynamics and heat transfer. Named after the German chemist Robert Bunsen, famous for his work on gas analyses and the Bunsen burner, our journey up Bunsen Peak allows us to ponder thermodynamics in a practical setting. From the geothermal heat rising from below the Earth's surface to the atmospheric conditions at higher altitudes, our hike is essentially a journey through a natural heat engine. Landscape architecture and feng shui. Believe it or not, the topographical features we've traversed have a lot to say about landscape architecture and even feng shui, the ancient Chinese practice concerning spatial arrangement and orientation. The way in which the mountain rises, the placement of rocks and trees, these are all elements that contribute to a form of natural architecture that impacts our mood and energy. Existentialism and the summit experience. What is it that drives us to ascend to high places? Is it the quest for new perspectives, or perhaps a manifestation of existentialist yearning for authentic experience? The summit experience can be an existential metaphor for human striving, reflecting our innate desire for accomplishment and new viewpoints. Botany and the alpine ecosystem. As we've hiked, you've likely noticed a shift in vegetation. This gradient of plant life serves as a real-world botanical laboratory. From the lodgepole pines at the base to the alpine flowers near the summit, the hike is an exploration through varying ecological zones, each with its unique flora and adaptation strategies. Acoustic phenomena and sound ecology. Have you ever noticed how different the world sounds as you ascend a peak? The rustling leaves at the base give way to the whistling wind at the summit. This progression isn't just aesthetic, it's an acoustic phenomenon worth academic scrutiny, offering us a chance to delve into the relatively new field of sound ecology. Quantum field theory and the structure of reality. While perhaps less apparent, the very ground we tread upon and the vistas we admire are the macroscopic manifestations of quantum fields. The sturdy rocks and the air we breathe are all the result of particles and forces acting in concert according to principles we're yet to fully understand, making our hike a literal walk through quantum fields. Geopolitics and national parks. The preservation and maintenance of a place like Bunsen Peak are no small feats and involve an intricate balance of geopolitics and resource management. It raises important questions about conservation, land use, and the role of governmental organizations in maintaining natural landmarks for both ecological balance and human enjoyment. So, as we conclude our adventure up Bunsen Peak, remember that this isn't merely about hiking a mountain, it's an intellectual ascent through a multifaceted landscape of knowledge. This is CognitionChunks, where every expedition is a multidisciplinary PhD in the making. Until next time, keep climbing, keep wondering, and keep connecting those cognitive dots. Farewell. Was this accurate? Did GPT just make up a bunch of stuff that does not exist or does not make sense? I'll let you know how GPT did in a few weeks.